Remember when the Democrats used to market themselves as the party of inclusion, freedom of expression, that the whole reason our founding fathers gave us the First Amendment was so that we could have freedom of speech, and not just simply the speech we agreed with, but primarily the speech we disagreed with. And within the Democratic tent, we have a diversity of ideas. Is that the Democratic Party of today? Let's ask John Fetterman.
My reaction is it's a one source hit piece, and it involved maybe 2 or 3 anonymous disgruntled staffers saying just absolute false things or half-truths there. And I have no idea if somebody wants to platform that, but that's been the entire thing, and I think most people can agree with that. It's just a hit piece, and so that's where it's at, and we all move on from this.
Let's get ready to rumble! You can't handle the truth.
Hi, I'm Pastor Marty. This is the Afternoon Drive. Make sure that you are subscribed to the channel, and once you are, smack the bell, click the word all. That will give you notification of my rants, my ravings, my undeniably flawless reasonings. Please like and share this video. It's the only way that we can get the word out that we're here. Thank you so much for watching and being a part of the Afternoon Drive. When John Fetterman was running in 2022 for the U.S. Senate from the great state of Pennsylvania, I was one of those conservative commentators that had issues at first with his positions because he was really trying to sell himself as a progressive, and they were touting his mayoral record of a city that he basically bankrupted into the ground. But then during the campaign that he was running against Dr. Oz, he had a stroke, and following the stroke, there were issues.
In small talk before the interview, without captioning, it wasn't clear he was understanding our conversation.
I'll hear someone speaking, but sometimes I'll be able to be precise on what exactly that they're saying. I use captioning.
His campaign required that he be allowed to use a transcription program on his computer during our interview.
So immediately, commentators like myself on the conservative side of the aisle began to say, so really, we got to have speak and spell now to communicate with a senator. This is a job that literally, it is fast moving. You're sitting there in the Senate, bills are being proposed, and you've got to make real-time decisions. Didn't think he was up to it. And he really didn't look good in his debate against Dr. Oz.
You're running for a seat that could decide the balance of power in Washington. What qualifies you to be a U.S. Senator? You have 60 seconds.
Hi, good night, everybody.
Several months later,
he was elected because obviously the Democratic machine went into full work and they protected Mr. Fetterman and they demonized Dr. Oz. He won the election, and then he was missing for like 8 weeks because he was suffering from depression. Following his emergence from the hospital, he upset some Republicans and some Democrats for not following the proper decorum of dress. He liked to wear his hoodie looking like Uncle Fester. But as he began to talk, it was apparent he didn't exactly toe the party line. And of course, after Donald Trump got elected, even before Donald Trump got elected, he made several warnings to the Democratic Party. There's something going on that you're missing. So I'm driving through Pennsylvania, all through Pennsylvania, and everywhere I go, there are Trump signs where parts of Pennsylvania that are supposed to be Democratic strongholds that you would never see a Republican candidate's poster or name anywhere. And he saw, I'm seeing Trump signs, Trump flags, and then he saw the phenomenon known as the Trump stores all over Pennsylvania. And he said, these are not just little, walk-up campers. These are full-blown stores. You walk in, the merchandise is wall-to-wall. And there's people in there, lots of people. He tried to warn the Democratic Party, there's a wave coming, and it's the real deal. They didn't want to hear it. Then Donald Trump got elected. He went to Mar-a-Lago to meet with him, and he got excoriated by his own party. And he said, look, this is the man the people elected. I'm not saying I agree with him, but he's going to be the president, and I wanted to meet him, and I wanted to find out where there were things that we agreed that I could stand with the president and help him get his agenda through, and what were the things we disagreed on. And he said it was a good meeting. He enjoyed meeting him. And then as other issues began to unfold, John Fetterman committed the unpardonable Democratic sin. He thought and spoke for himself and not the approved party line.
We stand with Israel throughout all of this. Hamas needs to be effectively neutralized before there's any kinds of peace.
When you have hundreds of thousands of people in our nation here illegally with criminal records and some actively engaging in crime, well, then they all have to go. Greenland, for example. Now, and I know there's a lot of freakouts, and of course I would never support taking it by force. But I do think it's a responsible conversation if they were open to acquiring it and whether just buying it outright. I mean, if anyone think that's bonkers, it's like, well, remember the Louisiana Purchase?
So all that has resulted in news reports now coming out that members within the Democratic Party, they're concerned about John Fetterman. They think it's time to invoke the 25th Amendment. Gee, they never did that for Joe Biden. In fact, we were told how brilliant he was, that this is the best Joe Biden of every version of Joe Biden there's ever been. This is the best one. Jen Psaki, also known as Peppermint Patty, is incensed that anyone would think that she and the Biden administration was doing a cover-up for the mentally defective former president. She's outraged by that. Most of us saw it during the 2020 election cycle that Joe Biden was off. And we've been vindicated. We've been proven right. We were as right about that as we were all of the COVID nonsense. Hey, remember hanging shower curtains in between stalls at restaurants so that you could go in with your mask on, sit down and take your mask off, and somehow the shower curtain and sitting, you were below the virus and you would be just fine. Those same people that did all that to us, those same people that are demanding Donald Trump apologize for all of the federal workers he's firing and bring them back with full pay, have yet to bring back or recommend anyone that was fired under the previous administration for not taking love potion number 9, the magic elixir in the arm, and nobody thought twice about passionately campaigning that they get to keep their jobs. John Fetterman committing the unpardonable sin, going against Chuck E. Cheese Schumer, Nancy Botox Pelosi, Akeem Jeffries, and actually stating some things that are obvious. And now they want to 25th Amendment him. They want to kneecap him and get rid of him. And I have just one thing to say. John Fetterman, come on over right now. Leave the Democratic Party and declare yourself a Republican. Come on in. The water's fine.
Meanwhile,
I mean, think of the great company he would be in. RFK Jr., Tulsi Gabbard, Elon Musk. These guys were all Democrats, all in line with the Democratic Party line, until they began to realize, Houston, there are some serious problems here. John Fetterman has proven some of us on the right wrong. He is in control of his faculties, which is exactly why the Democrats don't want him. As long as he was a mindless puppet, that they could tell him exactly what to say and how to vote, then he was of value to them. But the fact that he can actually think, reason, ask questions, speak for himself, and draw conclusions not approved by the party, that makes him dangerous. So dangerous, they want to 25th Amendment him and get rid of him. John, the family is letting you know they got a contract out for you. Come on in. Be a Republican.